Today is September 23rd, 2023. My name is Charles Suter. Today I'm presenting part 2 of my series Mind versus Brain. There is a distinction with a focus on relabeling your feelings. My main message, or at least one of them, is an upset emotion abates effortlessly when mindfully observed. To get rapid relief from emotional distress, I'm presenting a 4-step process that was developed by Jeffrey Schwartz and Rebecca Gladding, who are authors of a book called You Are Not Your Brain. The critical first step is to passively begin observing your negative emotions, whatever they might be. You must use your mind's willpower to refrain from reacting on these negative emotions and just observe them instead. To stay inactive, as you observe mindfully, you must become highly aware of your intention of heading off an emotional meltdown and avoiding reactions you might regret later. During your observations, do nothing more than just watching your free-flowing thoughts and feelings with detachment, as if they belong to someone else. As you observe, label your fundamental emotions with traditional names such as anger, helpless, or betrayal. Eventually, you will categorize them as sad, bad, or mad. Proposition 1. Again, you're going to mindfully observe with detachment your emotional upset. You're going to relax your mind. You're going to quiet your body. Permit yourself to just observe. Ultimately, you're going to label your feelings as one of 3 main categories. Are your emotions basically sad, mad, or bad? Then continue to observe. The more you passively observe, you'll find that the less upset you will feel. And then you can select a less provocative description or label for your feelings. Just passively observing your emotional distress, they'll begin to abate due to catharsis. This is getting things out of your system, which will soften their descriptions for your emotions to a less severe intensity. You might pick the emotion peeved instead of furious. Alternately, you could choose a humorous descriptive label for your emotions, such as, "Here I go, feeling sorry for myself again." The softening of your emotional intensity will allow you to shift your mind's attention to exploring and understanding your emotions better. Eventually, you can begin listening to the self-talk and words used by your subconscious mind, associated with your feelings, for clues to the real cause of your emotional distress, which is seldom the event to which your attention is focused. Proposition 2. Ask yourself provocative questions about your emotional episode. Why am I feeling this way? Is this the way I want to feel? Keep asking why questions to each of your answers until you get closer and closer to the root cause. As your emotions subside, begin exploring their origin by asking yourself the important why questions, such as, why am I feeling this way? Again, keep asking why questions until you get to one of 3 core reasons. Core reason number 1, I'm not okay. Something's wrong with me. Number 2, other people are not okay. There's something wrong with them. Or 3, life is not okay. Something is wrong with life. Identify whether your emotions are directed at yourself, other people, or life. Next, ask yourself these questions. Is this the way I want to feel? What specific needs, blocked by this disturbing event, am I emotionally responding to? Are these healthy needs, or are they addictions to my irrational beliefs that could lead to harmful future consequences? Is this the way I want to live my life, with this particular irrational belief causing me emotional distress whenever circumstances in the outer world don't conform to my expectations? The answers to these questions will lead you to the next 3 steps of the process, which I will present individually in future presentations. They are reframing the offending situation to define the root cause of your emotional distress. Refocusing. Refocusing blame away from the outer world to your irrational beliefs hidden in your inner world. And then finally, probably one of the most important presentations coming up, reprogramming those irrational beliefs you identified as the root cause so that they will no longer cause you problems. Proposition 3. Begin listening to your inner dialogue and guess at what your irrational beliefs might be. Are your words, feelings focused on yourself, others, or life in general? What must you believe about yourself, other people, or life that is not okay? Are my urges to respond directed towards myself, others, or external? Again, 3 prime causes to your emotional upset is either yourself, others, or life in general. The mind's insights gathered through observation will reveal that an incident that seems to trigger your emotional upsetness, something in the outside world, is not the real cause. In a later step in the process, you will apply these insights to find the real culprit to your emotional distress, which is always caused by the brain's faulty software programming used by the brain to interpret outer world events. The brain's faulty software programming are called irrational beliefs by people in the mental health profession. In other words, your emotional distress is an inside job, a product of your inner world and not the outer world at all. Your emotional problems are always due to what's going on within your brain's software coding, because the brain has no choice but to respond according to its programming. The answer to the mind's why questions will lead you progressively closer to the cause, which are your irrational beliefs resident in your brain's software programs. Now, my final message during this relabeling step, correctly identify the inner sources of your emotional distress. By passively using your conscious mind to observe, but not react to your brain's emotional upsetness, you're automatically de-escalating the situation. So just by observing, you will get emotional relief. As your emotional intensity cools, there's still time to react or respond to your outer world if an obvious response is evident and immediately required. Otherwise, your mind does nothing but observe and passively wait for the emotional storm to subside so your mind can explore, understand, and identify the root causes of your upsetness. It isn't until you find the root causes that you can really do something effective about your problem. Ultimately, you will discover that one or more of your rational beliefs about the incident is the cause of your emotional distress. These irrational beliefs are resident in your brain's neurological networks, or software coding in computer terms. And as long as they remain, they will continue to trigger similar emotional responses until they're permanently removed by reprogramming them with the 4-step process that I'm describing in this series of my presentations. So, relabeling your emotions is the first step towards reducing them and eliminating them in the future. Well, that's all for now. More to come. So in the meantime, stay positive. You'll be happier, healthier, and live longer.